Listen to me, Jamaica, you know, we have a gun culture, an unfortunate gun culture. And people, a man will have an appointment for a heart bypass, critical surgery. And if he gets a call from yesterday that his gun is approved, he will run out of the operating theater and go collect his gun. That's how much we value guns in this country.
In a society where crime is rampant and there could be someone around the bend just waiting to take what's yours, it's no wonder that most people want a gun or have one to protect themselves and their loved ones. But when things don't go according to script, and that gun is used whether accidentally or purposefully to take the life of someone you helped to bring into this world, all hell breaks loose. In 2008, Pia Phillips was one of the bright and shining stars of the Immaculate Conception High School, one of the top high schools in Jamaica. She was the head girl, a promising student, and everyone had high hopes for her. And then, the unimaginable happened. On the night of November 1st, 2008, Pia's mother pulled up to their gate in the Havendale area. Inside the car were 4 others. Pia, her eldest child, who was celebrating her 18th birthday that very day, her 2 sons, ages 14 and 10 years old, and their cousin. They were returning home from a church choir practice. As they were about to enter their yard, the unexpected happened. Gunmen pulled up in a vehicle and demanded that they come to them. In a moment of panic, everyone scattered. A family friend said the mother jumped over a wall and told the children to hide as Pia ran towards the house screaming for her father, who was inside the kitchen preparing dinner for the family. When he heard the screams of Pia, he rushed outside with his licensed firearm in hand. But as he ran to the aid of his family, he tripped on some steps and the firearm went off. Pia, his only daughter, was hit in the abdomen. She was rushed to hospital, but she did not survive. That night, on her 18th birthday, November 1st, 2008, Pia Phillips was killed by the bullet from her father's gun as he tried desperately to protect his family from hoodlums. It is not often that we hear of a parent killing their own child, and when you listen to the details of the next story, you will realize that this was no accident. It is a great joy and pride for most fathers when their sons follow in their footsteps. And Delton Knight had the grand opportunity to watch his sons mature into men before his very eyes as they worked together at Knight's Meat and Food Distributors Limited, the family-owned business on Gordon Road in Kingston. But what is shocking is that something drove this father to a point of no return on April 12, 2021. On that day, he was caught on surveillance camera engaging in a heated argument with his son, Ruel Knight. In the video, we can see a few individuals trying to calm down the angry father, but in the end, their efforts failed. This father kicked his son before shooting him in the chest and leaving him on the ground to die. In his rage, he also would have run him over with his vehicle if a few men hadn't assisted the bleeding 38-year-old out of the way. Sources say Ruel had 3 children of his own and had been the breadwinner for his family. Sadly, Ruel's 14-year-old was on the property at the time and saw his father in a pool of blood. Ruel Knight was rushed to hospital, but he didn't make it. He was shot and left to die by his father. Most parents don't expect that their 15-year-old will be coming into the house in the wee hours of the morning, and when a son is mistaken for an intruder, the result can be fatal. On September 28, 2022, sometime after 3 a.m., a father was fast asleep when his wife woke him up, alerting him to sounds from outside. The licensed firearm holder jumped out of bed and headed towards the front door with his gun in hand. To his surprise, he saw the silhouette of someone attempting to open the door from outside. 3 people lived in the house, he, along with his wife, and their 15-year-old son, Raheem Shaw. It was assumed that Raheem, a student of the Woolmer's Boys' School, was sleeping in his bed since his room door was closed and the fan to keep him cool on a hot night was still on. So when the father saw the silhouette, he was sure it was an intruder and discharged 3 rounds from his gun through the door. They soon realized that it was not an intruder, but that it was their 15-year-old son. Screams rang out in the neighborhood as the parents came to grip with the gravity of what had just occurred. Raheem was shot in the head and abdomen. A shocked and frantic father rushed his son to the Spanish Town Hospital, but it wasn't enough. Raheem died that morning from the bullets fired from his father's weapon intended for an intruder. Taking a smoke outside at 4 in the morning can turn deadly when a father mistakes his son for an intruder. It was January 7th, 2022, only a few days into the new year at about 4:30 in the morning, when the father of young businessman 26-year-old Stephen Taylor heard strange sounds coming from a section of their home in Rhine Park Village, St. James. With his firearm in hand, he went to investigate. Upon seeing a shadow at the entrance to the upper section of the house, he reportedly fired 1 shot at his target. He later realized that he had shot his son, who had awoken early from his sleep and had gone outside the house to have a smoke. Stephen Taylor was rushed to the hospital by his father in a desperate attempt to save his life, but sadly, he did not survive.